Let's stream the live event. Ba-ba-da-ba-dum. We go here. Wait, what? No. Stupid YouTube. Da-da-da-da-dum. Where is this under? I just need a link to the event. Probably this. Righty-roo. You can close the door. Yes. Phews. Man, I should really get a green screen on that wall. And better lighting. And a cajillion and a half other things. Let's just pull up inventory there. Health is good. Health is good. All right. I like good health. 5 more minutes. I should really get a countdown thing. Isn't there such a thing on OBS? Let's find out. Whoops. Well, that's not really what I wanted. Add. Image slideshow. Color source. Oh, why would I want that? I just want to delete it. Yes. I thought there was a countdown. Image slideshow, media source, scene, screen capture, text. Maybe there's not. I can do text though. Oh, interesting. So I could just say like, hey guys. Just a little, little while until the event begins. Probably really should have the microphone muted as well. Whoa. Yeah, that's phenomenal. This looks super top notch. Like I really know what I'm doing. 2 more minutes? Or is that 3 more minutes? 3 more minutes. Wow. Oh, you know, well, who cares? I could have sworn there was a countdown available. Maybe that's a plugin or something. Image slideshow. Yeah, I'd have to have images. I don't have images. All right, well, we'll just get rid of that and get rid of this. Go back to this. Oh, don't tell me this thing's... No, that's the right device. There we go. Almost walked off the edge. That would have been sad. Let's go get lost in the woods. See if we can't make some viral content when we find a corpse or something. You know, because that's the state of YouTube in 2019. Oh, wait, that was the state of YouTube in 2018. Actually, I heard. And now I don't know if this is true or not. Wow, I should really switch things up here. Let me do that. It would make more sense to have the Minetest window more underneath where the webcam is. So I'm looking more towards the webcam than I am towards a completely different screen. Anyways, I was told. I shouldn't say I was told. I read on the forums that there's a secret hidden thing inside of the woods, but I don't know how to get to it, which is kind of why it's a secret hidden thing. Maybe these aren't the right woods. No, wait, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. See, there is a secret hidden thing. I guess there's some Easter eggs on this server. How you get there? Not that it would matter, because you can't, even if you ever did get an extra block, you can't take blocks with you. So an extra block would be of no effect. 24 seconds till the stream begins. 24 seconds till I need to sound professional and like I know what I'm doing. 12 seconds. 9 seconds. 6 seconds. 3 seconds. Hello everybody! Welcome to another Minetest stream. The first of mini. Is 12 mini? Does 12 qualifies as mini, right? If I do one stream the first weekend of every month, there's 12 months to a year. Do the math, carry the 1, add the 0, divide by 8. Yep, that makes 12. So that'd be 12 streams a year. I don't know how many I did last year, but I don't think I started streaming in January. So probably not 12. So that means more streams this than last. In addition to that, the streams won't be any more frequent though. There'll be more streams, but they won't be any more frequently. It's just because I didn't do the full year's worth last year. But there's other new content, including gameplay on this server. This server being Inside the Box. That starts this, well, Saturday. Technically, it'll start next week, because Saturday is one week and then Sunday turns to the next. That's how weeks work, at least where I live, where I hang out, where my humble abode is. I'm wondering if YouTube, this is working, right? Okay, it's working. Where's my statistic things? Oh, do I have to go to analytics? No, I just want to, I don't care about that, YouTube. I want to see the chat. Hopefully this is all working. I actually just did a fresh install of my OS last night. It was not a planned event. It's just how things happened, which was uncool. Well, I'm assuming that's working. Let's just go do the tutorial to do something while we wait for some people to show up. That does mean I have to figure out how to get to the tutorial. Can I repeat the tutorial? Probably can. I didn't do any gameplay during the tutorial because, well, it's I didn't realize when I recorded the first episode that I could go back to the tutorial. Whoops. And B, I didn't want to go into the tutorial and then have to complete the whole tutorial, but I found out you can exit the tutorial. As long as you have completed it, you can exit it. And what was the other reasons? Oh yeah, there's the whole tutorial on the Inside the Blocks. You haven't already completed the series. We want to reset progress. Oh, okay. Here we go. And so it's just a puzzle tutorial, part 1 of 8. Yeah, let's go solve some puzzles, some easy puzzles. So we get our little block here. We run down this dark hallway, place the block on the pedestal. Door is open, or not. Oh, there we go. I was gonna say they should have opened. There's only one in that box. Why is it so dark? There we go. At some point, oh, here we go. It took 26 seconds. Let's go to the next part of the tutorial. Bum bum bum. And if you move too fast, sometimes you'll glitch through the ground. Kind of uncool, but that is just the nature of things. So there's a second one. There's like a dark basement thing with a very low ceiling. Yeah, right here. Someplace in here there's a chest, I thought. There it is. Found it. I don't know if I only need one chest for this one or if I need two. I do need the stairs. Here we are. I just find my way back out. System unknown. Hello. Is everything working all right? Can you hear me? Is the video coming through fine? I had horrible luck last night with my computer, and I had to reinstall the OS. Long story, but I had to reset everything, and I'm not sure if the settings are all right for the stream. So if you could do me a huge favor and just let me know if the audio sounds good and if the video is good, I would appreciate it immensely. I'm a little lost. Everything worked fine. Okay, super. Thank you very much. Yeah, I had some big problems. I don't even understand what happened. So basically, because I'm single and I can spend my money on whatever I want, I went out and bought a new processor for my computer. Mainly, actually, because the video software I use to edit these videos that I post on YouTube recently disabled GPU acceleration. I don't know why, but they did. It was buggy or something. So all my video exporting was done on the CPU. I was like, well, this is taking forever. I'm going to upgrade to a faster CPU so my video exports don't take so long. You know, a normal enough thing to do. So I went out and I ordered one before Christmas, actually, from Newegg. And it just finally arrived. Uh-oh, I don't think that was supposed to happen. It just finally arrived like 2 or 3 days ago. And so, can I go backwards? This is interesting. So I, last night, put it in. And I was like, oh, this should be easy enough. Okay, I don't know what happened. But I figured this should be easy enough, you know, just put in the new processor, pop out the old, you know, no big deal. Shouldn't take long at all. Threw the new processor in. Pulled the old one out first. Obviously, you can only put one in the socket at a time. Put the new one in. Tried booting. Computer wouldn't post. Wouldn't do anything. I was like, well, this isn't right. So I turned on a different computer. Hopped onto ye olde Google. Did a quick little Google search. And discovered that I have to clear the CMOS. I was like, okay, no big deal. Switched the jumper to do that. I don't think that worked. So I took the battery off the motherboard to clear the CMOS because that I know works. And it did. It cleared the CMOS. Unfortunately, the new CPU still didn't do anything. I was like, okay, so what's the deal now? Per the manufacturer's specs for my motherboard, it's supported. So I hopped on their website, looked around, and found out, oh, I have to flash some new firmware to the BIOS. Okay, no big deal. I can do that. So I did that. As far as I know, it worked because it does have a new BIOS version listed. So I was like, okay, that's done. Good. Throw the new chip in because I had put the old CPU in order to flash the BIOS because I couldn't even get into the BIOS with the new chip. So I do that. Flash the BIOS, put the new processor back in, try to boot it, still nothing. So I'm like, okay, what's the deal? So then I do some more research, and I discover I have an Asus motherboard. So on Asus's website, they said something about if you're getting a 4th gen chip, you need to install this utility or something weird. And I was like, well, that shouldn't matter because it's a BIOS thing. So why should I have to install something on my system? But that's a cool little death trap. So yeah, I install Windows onto a separate hard drive. I can't even see anything. What is the deal? I install Windows on a secondary hard drive, plug it into the desktop, and install Windows 7, install Service Pack 1, install a bunch of updates. Oh, I don't remember this tutorial being like this when I did it the first time. Install a bunch of updates, try to install this software so I can upgrade the firmware. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Keeps giving me an error about... Wow. Keeps giving me an error about Intel Management Engine Driver or something not existing. But when I looked in the device manager, it was listed there as being installed and stuff. So I don't know what the deal was. So I spent a couple hours installing Windows 7 and all of its updates, only to essentially get nowhere. Nothing worked. It was basically a big waste of time. So I was like, okay, whatever. I'll just use the old chip because I knew I had to stream today. So I put the old chip in. Oh, somewhere along the line in this process, I took my GPU out because one of the things I had read was potentially there's a conflict between some of the different hardware and the processor. So I took the GPU out. I had pretty much everything unplugged. So I put everything back together with the old processor, booted up. GPU isn't recognized. So I had the great fun of trying to fix that. So I uninstalled the drivers for the GPU, reinstalled them, rebooted my computer. Actually, I uninstalled them, rebooted the computer. Everything looked fine. It was rendering the screen in with the CPU, basically. So I go ahead and I install the GPU drivers, restart the computer because you have to restart after a GPU update. And what happened then? Oh yeah, then it wouldn't recognize my GPU again. So I essentially just wiped the whole system and started over, and this morning finished installing all of the... Oh, that was kind of probably not how I was supposed to do it, but finished reinstalling everything. Fortunately, it wasn't really a huge, gigantic problem because most all of my files are stored on a file server, so I didn't really have to back up a lot of anything. All I had to do was... What did I have to do? Just copy out videos that weren't done being edited. There were some pictures that hadn't been taken care of. Basically a lot of work in progress stuff that had to be copied off. Everything that's finished is stored on that server. So it didn't take a lot of time to back up and restore stuff. Oh, need to do this. Boom. So it wasn't the worst thing in the world. But yeah, it did take a lot of time I wasn't expecting to take. So my grand plans, I didn't have any grand plans, by the way, to have things fancier fell to the wayside because I didn't have the time to do them. Unfortunately, I don't know what to do now. So I have this processor, but as far as I can tell, it doesn't work. But I don't know, and there's like, you can't test. You can't really test a processor unless you have a motherboard you can plug it into. And I don't think I have another motherboard that has the... I want to say it's an LGA 1150 CPU socket. My file server has, I want to say 1151. Oh, I have to find those. Yeah, okay. And I have, I don't know, 4 or 5 other towers sitting around in storage. And it's possible, but not extremely likely, that one of those machines might have an 1150 socket. So I can throw the CPU into it and see if it'll work in there. But I don't know. I'm very disappointed. I was hoping to have a... What I have now is... I don't even know what it is, but it's 3.2 gigahertz. This one that I bought was 4 gigahertz. So I was kind of psyched to have this better performance. And I got nothing. Very disappointed. And I had to do a bunch of extra work that I wasn't anticipating doing, which was also kind of uncool. Does this door open somehow? There's a switch, but I can't punch it. I don't remember how to solve this puzzle. I solved it once before, though. I'm pretty sure I can just exit, though, if I want to. Yeah, so I'm going to look into what my options are. I might have to just send it back to Newegg. I've done some RMA stuff with them in the past, and it's never been too much of a hassle. But, I mean, it's obviously more of a hassle to send something back than to not have to. My other options are, of course, to just buy a new motherboard that claims to support this chip. But if the chip is bad, well, now I have an extra motherboard that I don't have a chip for. And I kind of want to, if I'm going to buy a new motherboard, get one that has a newer socket type so I can get newer chips, because the 4 gigahertz looks like that's the fastest I'm going to ever get on that chip architecture. I'm running Linux Mint, but I did install Windows on a spare hard drive, and I don't think the motherboard's even recognizing there's a processor in it. It's weird, though, because all the fans turn on, the case lights turn on, it's like there's some LEDs on the motherboard that light up Fan Expert 2 or something. I don't know, it's a ASUS something motherboard. But, yeah, it's just, as far as I can tell, it's not recognizing that there is a chip plugged into it. So, I don't know. But nobody really wants to hear about my problems. But, oh, hey, there's a path here. Oh, that might be how I get out. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Use the axe to break the wood. So then you can place it someplace. Wasn't there supposed to be 3 blocks? I need 3 blocks, I think. Well, it's kind of dark in here. Can I break these ladders? No. Okay, well, I need these blocks to escape. I just need to find out where I escaped. Oh, here we are. Didn't I need 3, though? Yeah, how come I only got 2? Boop. Boop. I need 1 more block. Or I'll be stuck down here for... Nah, maybe I don't. There's a slim chance I can jump to this vine. That little item frame's holding me up. Alright, alright. Alright, well, I don't really... Oops, I don't want that. I don't really want to do this tutorial anymore. We're just going to leave this box. Boom. Because it's too dark. I don't like dark ones. I'll go do some that I've already done. So, back to what I'm actually supposed to be talking about. Minetest videos, all that good stuff. I am starting a few new videos. One of which, or not video series, one of which is on this server. I already have videos recorded. Let me check. I don't remember what day these are being published on. Let me just pull up the calendar. All right, so Inside the Box will be being... I don't think I know how to talk. Inside the Box will be being published on Wednesdays. Mod reviews will be staying on Mondays. as always. The Illuna series, I'm actually doing a series on one of their other servers. That'll be on Tuesdays, as the Wonderful World of Illuna series was. I'm going to be doing an alternating thing, though, where I do one video where I am building and playing and stuff, and then the next video will be exploring other people's stuff, and we'll just alternate between the two for a while. I don't know how long the series is going to last. Probably not 100 episodes. That's my guess, but who knows? It might. Inside the box is... it's not the solutions to the puzzles. I don't know what this thing is, but let's find out. It's just gameplay. So I'm not going through solving the puzzle. I haven't done this before. I don't want to do that because I could make a video on it. And I'd hate to already know the solution. So it's just me playing them. And some are really short if I can solve them quickly. And some are pretty long. There is one. What was the box? I don't remember what the box number was. The YouTube titles will give you the box number. Because you can do this. You can use a chat command and type enter. And then if you know your box number, you can enter the box number. And we have entered box 4. I don't know what box 4 is, though. Spring birds. Okay, I already did this. So I can do this for this video. For the stream, because I've already done it. So all we have to do is find 3 little things for this. But yeah, there's one that took me nearly an hour to solve. I edited it slightly, so it's like... I think I only cut out 4 minutes worth. It was pretty much useless for me to even do any editing. Because I couldn't remove anything without really making the whole flow not make sense. But dude, I was close to rage quitting. It was horrible. Absolutely one of the worst videos I have ever made. So if you enjoy watching people get extremely frustrated because they cannot do parkour, that's the video to check out. I don't know when that one's going to go live. But yeah, box was never odd or even. I don't remember what the number is. I want to say Nor made it. I could be wrong on that. But yeah, definitely not a puzzle I would recommend unless you like parkour. Because I died a lot. I committed suicide quite a bit too. There's some lava in there and you can kill yourself in lava. And I did that because I could not figure out what I was supposed to be doing. So I just killed myself a bunch. I know, it's a real smart idea. Oh, I can't figure out what to do here. Let me just jump in this lava and die. Because that'll make things better. By the way, it didn't make things better. But it did get me back to the spawn location. Rather than having to climb over. There's like this giant wall in the middle. I don't want to spoil too much of it, but I guess I may as well because as soon as the video goes live, you can see the whole thing. Or you could just visit the box right now. If you actually go to... Howdy, Dottie. Thanks for joining the stream. If you go on to the website for Inside the Box, which is Minetest-projects.foo something. Let me pull it up real quick. I don't recall offhand. Minetest.foo-projects.org. There is a page on here, which of course you can't see because you're just seeing the Minetest window in my face. But there's a page on there that has all of the box names and the box numbers. So you can easily enter and exit boxes at your whim. Well, you can enter boxes. You can't exit them that way. You exit them through the through this button right here. It says exit box, which I wish I would have known about sooner because when I started, I did not know there was such an option. Would have been nice to know about that one. So I could have exited some of these boxes. But yeah, it's very fun. If you've ever played Portal or Portal 2, you will kind of have a lot of, I don't want to say experience, but you'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, I get this. This game style. It's very Portal-esque, in my opinion, anyways. I guess it might be more like some other game than Portal, but Portal is really the only game of this style that I've ever played. There we go. I knew there was a chest in here someplace. I gotta find that metal door yet. Oh wait, that was off this direction, wasn't it? Because that should have opened now. Where's the metal door? I need to get in there. It's got something. I don't remember what. I think it's just another. Was the metal door here? Probably not, but maybe. Thinking not. Big strategy to this is to avoid the boxes that are underground or that are at night, because it's oh, that's the button over here. Because it's really hard to see in the dark. You can also cheat and turn up your gamma. I've heard. I've not done it, but I've heard you can do. Oh. Nope, that's not what I want. It might be right here though. I've heard you can do that. I've not done it myself. No, that's where I just was. I'm getting all turned around and backwards. So as you can tell, this will be a fantastic series to watch. I already grabbed that one, right? Yep. There's a lot of wandering about aimlessly, trying to figure out where I am and where I need to be. If I could get myself out of here. Here some light is. It's odd. How do we have light? There must be a corner. Possibly a block disappears. Yep, that's too dark. I can't see. I need more torches. Or I could just exit. Here we are. Oh, right. Wasn't there actually like I thought there was something hiding right in here. Nope. That must be a different puzzle. That's somewhat similar. Once you've played a few, you kind of get some ideas of where people hide stuff. Like, pro tip, always look in the leaves of trees for chests. I have found that quite a few people will hide a chest up inside of trees. It's a good hiding place. But yeah, it's kind of overdone in my opinion. There's a lot of puzzles I've done where there's a chest hidden in the tree. And it's to the point where if I see trees, I'm like, well, first off, let's look in this tree for chests, because there's probably one in there someplace. And more frequently than not, there is indeed a chest in it. Alright. Dead end and a dead end. So there's no point in coming this way. That's the exit. Let's put one in this intersection here. The other... Why is there light seeping through? Is there a torch? Ah, there's a torch there. One of the other ones that I am playing on is... I think it's just called Skylands. It's one of those ones... I forget if that's what the subgame is called, where you start on a little plot of land in the sky, and you basically break pretty much every known law of physics, and you duplicate items. So for example, one of the things you do is, I want to say you cook dirt into cobble, and then you craft one piece of cobble into 2 pieces of gravel. And you craft 1 piece of gravel into 2 pieces of dirt. So now you have 4 pieces of dirt from 1 piece of cobble, which you can then cook and turn into 4 pieces of cobble, which you can then turn into 16 pieces of dirt, and so on and so forth. Now, of course, you need something to cook the dirt, so you plant trees. Well, you can make a tree with 1 stick and 6 leaves, and once you grow a tree, which they grow instantly, by the way, at least in this particular server, you can use the wood as fuel, and you also get saplings when you cut it down, most of the time. So yeah, basically you're just breaking laws of physics and duplicating items. And somehow I have lost that doorway. There was a metal doorway in here, and now it is not. I'm quite disappointed. I am an epic failure at this puzzle. Where did that door go? So I have that series. That one I have recorded whoops. I think I have 8 episodes on that one. Inside the box, when I started them, I didn't realize how the server worked. So let's just do this. So when I started, I didn't know about the enter chat command. So I was going through, and you might notice it a little bit in the edits. I was just going through and going into boxes from these things here, but they don't tell you what puzzle is going to be in there, and there's just these faces on them. I had no idea what the deal was. I was like, okay, we'll do this one, then we'll move on to the next one. And I think these somehow are... Oh, this is actually a really easy one. I think the signs on the... That didn't work. The signs on those little... whatever you want to call them. Pedestals, urns, there we go. They're not urns. But the signs on those things tell you what they were categorized. Because when you successfully finish a puzzle, you can rate it. And you can categorize. And you have 3 options. So I'm assuming, like if we do a smile. I've actually done this one on a race car here. And then we exit by stepping on this blue pad. And that takes us back here. And then we run back over here. So I'm assuming that these puzzles have all their rankings stored. And the highest ranked, which would just mean whichever puzzle has the most straight faces on it, is what shows up here. So at the beginning I was going through doing it this way. And then when I edited all these videos, I made an intro and an outro, which I promise is not super annoying like most intros and outros on YouTube. It's just a very nice, very short, like 4-second intro and like a 13-second outro. And I just cut right to the beginning of the puzzle. And then once I solve the puzzle, sometimes I'll leave the rating portion in where I click on the ratings. Sometimes I cut it out. Depends on if I was finishing up a train of thought or if I wasn't. And so, yeah, since I discovered the enter command, I've just been doing box by box. And they basically start... Oh, I know this puzzle, but it's too much work. Basically, it just starts little like this and little intro runs, and then I just walk right into the box and begin playing. So that'll be that series. And like I said, I got a bunch of them recorded already. And then we have Skylands, which we can go ahead and... If I knew which server this was on, I want to say it's this one, but I could be wrong. It also might not be up. The server is a little flaky and seems to crash quite a bit. It might not be up right now. If I had Hex Chat running, which I don't, I could tell if it was running or not. But I don't think it is. It's very similar to this Skyblock server, but I'd never got permission to record on that. I also never asked if I could record on that, but I already had previously existing permission. Oh. I already had previously existing permission to record on the other. So yeah, there'll be that. There'll be mod reviews still. I think that's it for the new series. Hopefully I'll also get my website updated at some point, but no promises on that. That is not my strong suit. But this is my Tombs mod, which we have been... Is it 3 streams that I've done on this? 4 streams? I don't know. I'm not planning on doing any coding. Mainly because I don't have that software all installed. But yeah, this is the current state of things. There are 15 different shapes. Ta-da! And they are in offset and centered versions. And yes, there is an octothorpe, because we all need octothorpes. And no, I did not know these things were called octothorpes. I thought they were pound signs. No, it turns out it's an octothorpe. So for everybody that wants to make octothorpes, you can make octothorpe tombstones. And of course, as with all the tombstones, you can put text on them. So we can do like, I'm an octothorpe. I believe that's how it's spelled. I'm an octothorpe. And actually, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to... Oh, it's not in inventory. Never mind. I have to do it this way. Octothorpe. There's no E at the end. Let's fix that. Oh, yeah. And by the way, if you hit escape, you don't lose your text anymore. And also, and this is impossible to demo because I'm the only person on this world, but if you do not place the stone, you cannot change the text. I'm not sure if you can still right-click on it and pull up that interface, and it just ignores it. But you can't change it unless you are the placer. So we have from the top, just a plain old rectangular headstone, or I think are they all? Yeah, they're all called headstones. I might change that name. But we have a regular rectangular one across, one with kind of a pointed top, two short ones, kind of a fancy cross, a staggered one, which you can't really see very well on that picture, but it looks like this guy here. And we got the Celtic cross, which again you can't see very good in that little preview image there, but it looks like or is it Celtic? Whatever, I don't know. However it's supposed to be, however the correct enunciation is, there it is. And these are available in loads of materials too, by the way. Actually, I could demo how to do that. We have an obelisk, which is a pretty basic, pretty simple. It's actually this guy right here. We got the stacked one, which I'm not 100% happy with how that turned out, but I had some other people say it looked good, so I'm leaving it for the time being. It's kind of like, and I don't know what civilizations did this, but like where they would just stack up a little pile of stones over, for a marker for when somebody died. That's where inspiration came for that. And then we have one with a rounded top, which is very similar to the normal rectangular ones. That would be this guy here. We have Sam because somebody suggested I make one of Sam, so I made one of Sam. So yeah, we can... What is that? Sam I am? No, that is the thing. I thought it was one of those where you could read it backwards. That'd be Miami S. Except it wouldn't be Miami, but whatever. We have Sam. We have a 5 and a 6-pointed star, and the octothorpe. 5 and 6-pointed stars. Octothorpes. We can make the... I don't think I can make them out of dirt. Nope. Can't make them out of dirt. So, if you wanted to make a dirt Sam, I'm sorry, but that is not possible. You can, however, make them out of most any solid materials. A dirt, for whatever reason, doesn't qualify as solid. I'm not sure why that was the case. Other than because I didn't set it up so you could do dirt. But, let me try. Let me see. Whoops. Let me undo that. There we go. Let me try and see if I can demo how to add whatchamacallits. Support for other... Oh yeah, I'm having a bunch of goofy errors here. And by a bunch, I mean one. But I don't know what it's from. Let's try this. Alright, so we have that. Let me just... Hopefully... is there... Yeah, the microphone's still working. Okay, I need to add, but I don't even know what it is. Can I just copy? I can. Sweet. I can paste a reference. I don't know what that means, but it works. So here's how this is done. If I could find this. Yeah, I know you're having some weird error, but I couldn't figure out what that meant. So yeah, basically, this is the file I want. I know you're doing some weird error, but your error code didn't help me. This is what you got to do. And this isn't actually even what you have to do, but this is how it works here. If the mod is loaded and the setting is true, then it will load the file baked clay. If baked clay mod's enabled, default if default is, wool if wool is, and cave realms if cave realms is. So say you have a mod, and it could be any. This thing's just not going to go away. It could be any mod. It doesn't really matter what. And you wanted to add support for these stones. All you got to do is in your depends, you would want to do an optional dependency on tombs. And then you would have to do a check like we have here and have if Minetest get mod path tombs, then, and you could even do just a do file like this, load, and you could, whatever you'd want to call it, tombs.lua or whatever. And then in that file, you just do this. Tombs, register stones. And if I look at, because I don't remember what these actually do, I think it's in this file here. Stop telling me this. I know. Oh, you guys probably don't even see it because it's right behind my head. This is here someplace. Here we go. Functions, tombs, register stones. So the first thing is the recipe. So if I could split this, can I split the window and add them? I can somehow. I don't remember how though. Let me try to figure that out real quick. View. I just want to panes. Yeah, perfect. Excellent. All right. I don't know if this is actually gonna work, but we'll try it. I want to go back to default. Oh, well, that worked. I didn't put it on the window I wanted it on, but that's all right. It's also not quite wide enough, but we'll make it work. So basically, when you register stones, the first thing we're putting in is the recipe. So that's going to be the material that's put into the input slot. So default, in this case, cobble for the cobble one. Then the name is just cobble. The description, cobblestone. The texture, which is default underscore cobble. You do not put in the trailing .png because that is automatically done in the code. And then, and only then, if this item should emit light, what its light value is. And I added that because cave realms have glow obsidian and these glow, whatever these are, crystal, ruby, emerald, meese, and amethyst that glow. I think hot cobble actually might light up too. So I figured it would be it would behoove me to make this support that. So if we do some cave realms, which I don't actually know if I can do that. Let me try, because I have cave realms and cave realms lights, and they conflict with each other. Yeah, so I have to just go in and delete the one cave realms that I don't want to use anytime I want to use the other, which isn't really a big deal because I don't use cave realms all that oft. And furthermore, every morning at 4 a.m. I run a script. I don't personally get up at 4 a.m. to do this, but I have a cron job that runs a script at 4 a.m. in the morning and updates all of the mods from Git and then copies them over. So I get that file back every morning. But yeah, so say we take some glow ruby here, and we just throw it in here right quick. We can get some glow ruby SAMs, and then if we change the time to I don't know, nighttime. Wait a minute, why is there something glowing here? There's nothing. Oh, I know why there's something glowing there. Because I put I forget what material it was, but something from cave realms, and I couldn't break it. Even with the diamond pickaxe, it wouldn't go away. Something that was just, I already had a diamond pickaxe. Oh well. It was an unbreakable something. So when I disenabled the mod, they turned into unknown items and I could break them. But I guess they didn't ever recalc the light. This actually might do that though. These things also take way too long to break. I need to fix that. Because like you can break them by hand. Or you can break them with a pickaxe. But they take forever either way. Okay, this is just weird. It's just phantom. Oh well, whatever. I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, so that's why that option's there. If your objects shouldn't glow, you can just leave it blank. As is illustrated by these mushroom caps. There's and stem. You just leave that value out and it'll work just fine. And then what happens here is there's 15 shapes because we start at 0 because of everybody's. I don't know what is that, an XKCD comic? No, it's not XKCD. It might be the other one. XKCDs don't have color. Anyways, Obtruse Goose. No, I don't think his are color either. Anyway, there is that meme that makes its way around the internet. Arrays start at 0, or other people's arrays start at 1. You know, because different languages do things differently. But anyway, all that to say, it starts at 0 and goes up to 14. So there's 15 here because 0 is one item. It's how maths work. Get over it. But yeah, so we take these different stones here, and we then take this table or array or data set or whatever you want to consider it, and we run it through a loop here, and we just grab stuff out of this, and then we grab stuff from here, and basically we just lowercase the name and add the mesh shape because I want to make sure that they're all consistent for the node registrations. I guess you could register a node with an uppercase letter in it, but I've never seen it done, so I figured just to make sure nobody accidentally or intentionally puts a capital letter in the node name, I will do a string lower on it so they can't. And then if it's the centered, it gets a trailing 0 behind it, and if it's offset, it gets a trailing 1. Just a binary thing, you know, on or off. And then we just throw the mesh, which is defined with a number here. So the string of one of these shapes, let's pull Minetest back up so you can see these super elegant strings that I'm using for their names. So we have, for example, here, if you can see it, it's kind of small up on the top, tombs, wood, _10, _0. So this is the 10th shape in the list. Technically, it's actually the 11th shape in the list, but it's number 10 because it starts at 0. But yes, it's the rounded top, and this is the centered version, so it has a 0. If it was the offset, that last number would be a 1. So if you're ever using Give Me, because by default, these will not show up in Creative Inventory. The only thing in Creative will be the machine to make it. So if you ever want to give yourself a bunch of these and you're not 100% sure what it should be, all you have to do is do Give Me tombs, and we know it's tombs, and then whatever our material is. So let's try sandstone. This has not been tested, so hopefully this works out. And then our shape, I don't know what shape Sam was, but I think he's 13. And then we want centered, so we'll use 0. And we want 99 of those, because who wouldn't want 99 Sam? Oh, that was a star. What number is Sam? Sam is 11. And what did I do? I did 13. Yeah, I was a little bit off. Just a little bit. Oh, I forgot. Numpad doesn't work. Not on Linux, at least. I think it does on Windows. There we go. A bunch of those. So yeah, that works like that. It's quite simple. It's way easier than trying to type out, because my other option was for these names to put offset in and to like use, instead of just these numbers, use these names. But I was like, man, if I got to be typing these names out for something, I don't want to be typing out 30 or 40 characters for a node name? That's way too much work. Let's keep it easy. Keep it simple. Is there anything else to explain? I don't think so. It does 2 registrations because it's doing the centered and the offset. All their callbacks are the exact same between both. And then we just have this nice little table array data set, whatever you want to call it. That is pretty much throwing together the buttons, the inventory, I guess. This function throws together the inventory in that machine. I still have to do all the code to figure out how do I make this thing go away now. To figure out how to. Oh, I guess that works. No, I didn't make it go away. I'll figure that out later. I'll just push it off to the side for now. I have to figure out the code for the machine. Is it the code for the machine? I think it's the code for the machine. To let me use a chisel instead of bones. Someplace here. If list name tool, then if stack get name bones. So it only let you put bones in right now. I need to add some code so I can put in a chisel or multiple chisels if I support other chisels from other mods. And then I have to add where to those, which would be in here. A metadata inventory take. I'd have to do a thing if list name. Oh no, that's if you're taking the input from tools. If you're taking from output, here we go, then we would need to add where to it. So I'd have to check what's in the input slot to know if it's a tool or if it's bones. If it's bones, take the bones. Take one bone. If it's a tool, add where to the tool and then return the where to tool. So it shouldn't be super difficult or anything, but I just haven't had the time to do it yet because I've been busy with other things. In some good news, and I guess I can't really show this. Let me try. I might be able to. I can add a media source. I think that file still exists. I don't want to loop it. Sure, let's do that. Sure. This may not work at all, but we'll try it. What? Why is there not? Oh, that's the wrong folder. That's why. I should be in here, and this wacky file name. It's 21 megabytes.
In this lesson, we'll be looking at textures and texture effects. I'll only be covering full nodes. In a future lesson, we'll get to node boxes and meshes and how to texture them.
Oh, I guess I just make it invisible. Okay, so that is a sneak peek, a very short sneak peek. I will make it a longer sneak peek once I finish explaining what it is. If you haven't already guessed, it's part of the Minetest modding curriculum. I've been pretty much not doing anything with it because the software I was using kept crashing, like a lot, to the point where I couldn't even edit the clip anymore. However, that's no longer the case. I don't know if it has anything to deal with me upgrading to a newer version of my OS, because I had been running, I think I was still running 18 something, and I went up to 19.1 because I was just like, it's too much work. I don't have the time. I don't want to be backing up all these files. I'm going to put them onto the file server at some point. And I finally did that over Thanksgiving/Christmas, sometime in that area. I did all this stuff. So now if I do a fresh install of my OS, I literally just have to reinstall my packages and copy configuration files over. And that's pretty much it. And then any work and project files. Everything that's finished is stored on a file server with redundant data backups and all that good stuff. So I don't know if it was because of that or if they were doing some very major refactoring to the code. I'm using Kden Live, if that's the right way to enunciate it, for the Minetest modding curriculum videos, because they kind of have a lot of, I don't know if I want to call them advanced edits, because they're not really advanced, but like blurs and fades and swipes and adding elements on top of other elements and stuff that I just can't do in Shotcut, or if I can, I don't know how. And so, with my new OS and a new version, or new beta, because they're still in beta, I think, with this refactoring process, it seems to be working quite smoothly. So we will get back to this this fun clip here. I just need to figure out, how do I mute myself? Oh, I can just mute myself on the microphone.
In this lesson, we'll be looking at textures and texture effects. I'll only be covering full nodes. In a future lesson, we'll get to node boxes and meshes and how to texture them. Up until now, all of our nodes have used just one texture, but we have more options than that. Many nodes have different textures on their faces, such as tree trunks and furnaces. Minetest gives us control over every face of a node, and there are several stages of customization that we have. When creating a node with different textures on the faces, you'll want to set param type 2 as face stir. We'll look at other options of param type 2 in the future, but for the time being, setting this will make the node rotate to place in the direction the player is looking. Skipping this step will result in the node always facing the same direction. The textures are defined in the tiles table. As we've already seen, if we define one tile, each face will show the same texture. The draw order of the textures in the tables is as follows: top, bottom, right, left, front, back. If you want all the sides to be the same texture, you can just define 3 tiles. The left, front, and back faces will all use the right faces texture. If you define any less than 6 tiles, the tiles you didn't define will use the last texture listed. Let's create a new node that uses 6 different textures. Feel free to use the textures I provide in the resource pack, or create your own. For the ease of typing, I just used 1 through 6 as my file names, but of course you can use anything you'd like. It would be a good idea to prefix the names with the mod's name to make sure they don't accidentally get used in any other mod. Placing our newly created node in the world, we see that it has different textures on each face. And furthermore, we can place it while facing all 4 directions, and we always have the backside facing towards us. This covers how to use different textures for all the faces of a node. But there is more to discuss about textures, texture modifiers. These let us change textures in code, and often allow for us to create an easier, better experience when updating textures or texture packs. The most commonly used effect is texture overlaying, which is done with a caret. We'll start by putting an overlay on one of our basic nodes. All we have to do is add a caret after the base texture, and add the overlay texture file name after that. To start, we'll simply add an overlay to our fake diamond. Heart PNG is the texture used for the health status bar, so we'll use that and overlay it over the diamond block texture, like so. Starting the game, we can place some of those blocks, and we'll see that the heart is drawn over the diamond block texture on all sides. What if the overlay should only be on a single face though? That's simple to do. Let's go ahead and add the heart image to the top of our first node. Just like previously, we'll add the caret's heart after the first tile. Launching the game, we can see that the heart is only drawn on the top of the first node. Of course, if one wanted, they could do an overlay on each face, or do different overlays on each face. It's completely open to your desires. The benefit in using overlays is that if you ever want to change a texture, you only have to change one. It also makes it easier for people making texture packs. The stone with ores is a good example. Minetest game has a handful of ores, and they're all an overlay texture over the default stone texture. If somebody wanted to change what the stone looks like, they only need to change one texture, rather than having to try and change the stone parts of all of the ore textures. There is much more we can do, and if we want, we can even put multiple modifiers together on one face, though it will likely be necessary to enclose portions of the modifiers within parentheses to achieve the results we want. All modifiers, with the exception of overlays and groups, use an opening square brace and a modifier name and a set of variables to define what should be done to the texture. We still need to use the caret before the square brace though, or we'll get an error about the texture not existing. The heart image is looking a little dark in my opinion, but only on the first node, so let's change that. We can use the brighten modifier, which will make the colors of the pixels brighter. We only want to brighten the heart though. The base texture is perfect, and we don't want to make that brighter. We'll use a group for the heart image and its modifier, and then overlay that over the base texture. The brighten modifier does not take any additional arguments, and brightens to a predefined level. Launching the game, we'll see that our hearts on the first node are looking a little pink now, but the heart on the diamond block still looks normal. The modifiers only affect the node and tile that they are used on, so we can use a base texture and do different things with it on multiple nodes, saving ourselves some file space and time. I don't really care for how the heart looks though. I wanted the dark reds to be a little lighter, but I didn't want it to turn pink. Let's change the brighten to colorize. The colorize modifier takes two variables, a color string and a numerical value. We can either use a variety of RGB formats or use any HTML color name. So rather than launching an image editor to see what the RGB value is for red, we can just use the word red. Here we can change the numerical value to represent how much red we want added. Setting the value to 255 will result in a solid red heart. This doesn't affect the alpha though, so we still get a heart shape. We can use this to completely change the color of the heart if we'd like, by simply changing the color. It's important to keep in mind that colorizing adds a tint of that color. It does not hue shift. Using a green color will not give us a pretty looking green heart. We'll actually get something that looks a little more like vomit. In this example, I'm using a value of 150. If you're planning on using colorize a lot, you might want to design a grayscale texture, which can then be colored. Experiment around with it. Sometimes you can get by using it, and sometimes you'll likely be better off actually editing your texture and shifting the hue values to change the color. To demo how to use different modifiers on base images and their overlays, let's do one more change to our node. Well, 3 actually. Let's change the green back to red and add a transform to both images. Notice how both images are isolated between parentheses, and the modifiers are strung together with carets. There are many more things we can do, such as rotating and flipping images, turning specific colors to alpha, removing alpha, and copying a vertical portion of one image onto another. Of course, we can combine these modifiers as well. I could go for hours and hours covering all the different things we can do, but that would get boring. So I'll just let you explore and fool around with different modifiers. You can find an entire list with short descriptions of what they do and how to use them in the Lua API. The last thing we'll look at is animated textures. You've probably noticed that a few textures in Minetest are animated. Water most specifically, but the fronts of furnaces also have an animated texture when something is being cooked. Minetest lets you use vertical frames or a sheet of images. When using vertical frames, you need to define how wide and tall each individual image is in the image, and it will automatically detect how many individual frames there are. Using a sheet, you need to define how many frames wide and tall the sheet is. Using animated textures requires...
Alright, that's enough. That's enough of a sneakity sneak preview. I couldn't hear any of that, so I have no idea where I cut it off. But I do know that was the getting close to the end, and the end's not finished yet. So there was really no point in playing the rest when it's... I mean, it's still valid information, but the graphics aren't there. There was also a few little bugs that I caught when I was watching it, which, by the way, can I just say that was kind of really weird to be doing a live stream and then literally just play an already existing video and just sit here and like, okay, so what do I do now? I'm just sitting here waiting for the video to finish playing so I can unmute my microphone and turn the video stream off. Okay, that's cool. This is boring. Why did I ever do this? My life flashed before my eyes, and I just asked myself, what am I doing with my life? No, but so hopefully that'll be finished up soon. That was probably the last. I maybe ended it a minute to a minute and a half before the actual video ended. I think all the audio is in the clip, which isn't viewable anywhere, so don't go looking for it. But I just have to finish up some of the graphic stuff, like the graphic at the end that's supposed to be, I think, zoomed in and supposed to pan through. And at the beginning, there's like that little ribbon, I think like 30 seconds in, 21 seconds in or something, that ribbon that said, honestly, I don't know what it said, Chapter 2, Lesson 4, I think. That's supposed to slide in from the side. It's like a 3-second transition to slide in, 3 seconds there, maybe 2 seconds, and then it slides back out. But when I updated my computer, It turns out I didn't back that transition. I don't even know where that. It's a custom transition I made. I don't know where it gets saved to, and I never remade it. And then I just after I reinstalled my OS the first time around Thanksgiving, Christmas, I re-edited the video. Well, I didn't re-edit, but I re-exported. And I was like, well, let's see if if things are working any better now. And they were. So that's why I have that. But yeah, it's almost done, and it'll hopefully be done sooner rather than later, because now things seem to be working. Unfortunately, it's still not using GPU effects, which is annoying, but they're still in the process of refactoring the code. Wait a minute, I thought I could get into this well somehow and poison the water. I guess I can't. This is the dynamic liquids mod. I did a mod review on it a while back. And, oh, that is open. Okay. That is too. It is a really neat mod. That's literally the only reason I'm in here. And also because I have no idea what else to talk about. And what is this, an hour long? An hour and 14 minutes? Definitely not long enough for one of my streams. I've got to stretch this out to like 3 hours, at least, for sure. Do some Q&A. Got any Qs? I'll try to give you A's. Even if they're not Minetest related. See what we can do here. Yeah, I just like this mod. I want to put this mod in something where I can play with it some more. Let the water do its magical stuff, and just like this guy up over here. This should actually be getting close to the point where it falls in, I think. I forget which directions they travel. Oh no, the source is way over here. Over there, over there, over there, over there. Now it's going, no, it came back. I don't know, I forget which way it works. The post on my website, or the Reddit topic, or the forum topic, any of those places, Face Deer explained in greater detail the system that's implemented for how the source waters move. I don't remember exactly what he said, but there is a method how they work. And if you have a path that's only one node wide, there's a pretty good chance that a source node could get to the end, but a flowing node will, or wait, no. Source node could get to the end, but so the source node will flow out, but it'll probably never come back. So if you have source nodes, like I have here, source nodes there, and you're trying to get this whole thing to fill up, if it was only one wide, it would probably never happen. The reason water looks quite laggy here is because this is a custom mod that's doing the water, and it's doing a lot of extra effects rather than normal water. But normal water I don't think is overly laggy. Let's go ahead and just do a quick little test. I think I can just turn off dynamic liquid. If I knew my alphabet. CD, here we go. Turn off dynamic liquid. And just dump some water out and see how it looks. So I've got water flowing around here, which will never go anywhere because the source node's right there. But if I grab that source node, those will go away. Yes. Where did my... Here we go. Bucket with water. All right. So let's just... I mean, I don't know what water in Minecraft's like, but... It doesn't look laggy to me. I'm not sure... What would laggy water look like? Or what would not laggy water look like, maybe, is the correct question to ask. I mean, it's updating every second or so. I mean, if you wanted, you could probably tweak it to update faster, but that comes at a performance trade-off. Question is, would you rather have your world run smoothly, or would you have your world run a little less smoothly, but your water runs smoother? That's the big question. It's always about trade-offs and about your hardware. The better your hardware, theoretically, within reason to a point, the better performance you'll have. I mean, you reach a point where your hardware... Oh, it's slow. Okay. You reach a point where your hardware is barely being utilized because the software is not optimized or written to handle everything that the hardware can provide. For example, to my knowledge, Minetest is still only single threaded. So it's only using a single core. Well, it's not only single threaded, I guess, but MapGen's only a single thread. I think it's broken up into a few different sections, but basically you could have like, quad core or an octa core, and I think Minetest only uses 3 cores. I think MapGen uses a core. It might only use 2 cores. So you can have extra cores, and Minetest just won't use them because it wasn't written to split, the MapGen between multiple cores. It all runs on a single core. And that's just the way things are sometimes. Also, I don't think Minetest uses the GPU really, because if it did, I feel like I would probably get a lot faster frame rates than 60 frames a second, which my max, I have it set to 200, and all I get 60. So I have a feeling that's probably just because the GPU is not really being utilized, because my GPU can do games on Steam that are way more like there's a lot more detail and stuff to them than Minetest, and that's even running through a compatibility layer because they're Windows games, and I can get like 100 plus frames on some of them. Like Portal runs at a very decent frame rate, and it's a lot higher quality textures and stuff. I mean, I guess back end wise, I don't know. Obviously, there's a lot of individual faces here. That maybe Portal has fewer faces and vertices because there's bigger sections that are just one solid plane. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it just isn't really using the GPU at all. Probably because somebody would have to write code to do that. And let's be real, writing code is something that not a lot of people do, especially for free. Do I think Minetest should be rewritten? I mean, parts of it are pretty much always being rewritten. Things are being updated and improved. But again, tying in with what I just said, not a lot of people want to write code for free. So there really would be no advantage to rewriting Minetest from scratch. It would just be a huge waste of man hours that could be used better to do other things, just make small optimizations. I mean, as time goes, like, I don't know if Git provides a feature where you can like see history of code changes. It probably does somehow. I don't know how. But my guess would be most of the code's been rewritten multiple times over with optimizations here and there. And it's just one of those things where you have to have somebody who's good at, whatever happens to be it MapGen or server network communication, whatever. And you have to have someone who's good at that stuff and who's willing to do it for free. Because if I rewrote Minetest, it would be worse than it is now because I have no idea what I'm doing. Like, have you seen my... Wait a second. I'm going to sneeze. Come on. Okay, never mind. It doesn't want to leave. There we go. Now I lost my train of thought. Oh, I was going to say, have you seen my quality code? Like, yeah, rewriting code isn't necessarily the best way to improve it. Because if what we have works, which it does, the only benefit you would have to rewriting is if somebody who really knew what they were doing well and was going to put a lot of time in rewriting it to improve it. Otherwise, they're pretty much just wasting their time rewriting what's already work. It's like what's the old expression? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Is that what the expression is? I think that's what the expression is. If it works, don't rewrite it just to rewrite it. If you're gonna optimize it, well, by all means, please do. But that's my opinion on that. I mean, I'm sure other people would disagree wholeheartedly with me, and that is 100% a-okay. But no, I wouldn't be in favor of rewriting something just to rewrite it. Like, it sounds like a waste of man hours, in my opinion. But I might be jaded. That's why my website hasn't been rewritten yet. I mean, that's part of the reason why it hasn't been, because it does work. It's a little slow, but that's because there's a lot of bloated extra code that there shouldn't be. But in order to clean that up, I have to do a full rewrite, basically, which is the plan. It is the plan. Minetest game could use a lot more love. Currently, it's in feature freeze. I think it's in feature freeze. They're working on getting everything squared away with the engine for the 5.0 release. So there's pretty much been, I would say, in the last 2 to 3 weeks, maybe even more, that there have been there has been very little action on the Minetest game Git repository, only because they're not changing anything there, because they're trying to squash all the bugs. And Minetest game is sitting pretty stable right now, and they're just working on fixing up the engine. And for the most part, the developers that develop the engine are the same people that develop Minetest game. So, they kind of have to look at it and do we want to get the next version released of the engine, or do we want to work on adding stuff to Minetest game? And fixing the engine obviously wins out over adding features to Minetest game, which also there's a lot of mixed opinions between the developers, I think, of Minetest game, of what it should really be. And I think we just need some other sub games to be bundled with, is what we really need. But unfortunately, because no other sub games are bundled with, none of the other sub games really get a lot of development outside of like single developers. And they're not, like, I mean, you can go look at the forums under the sub game releases. That shouldn't be sub game releases, under the game releases. And yeah, there's probably a lot of decent games there that need a lot of polishing. But because they're not released with the game, there's not a lot of people that are like, oh, this needs to be fixed, this needs to be fixed. They're just sitting on them as they are because it works, and limited dev time, and everybody's doing it for free. It's all volunteer. No one's making money off of this. To my knowledge, nobody's making money off of this. I mean, somebody might be, but I don't know of them. I'm sure not. A mob engine will be created. My opinion on that would be it would be more likely for 10+1's mob redo to just be adopted in than something brand new written from scratch. That's just my opinion. But like all of the mob mods out there, for the most part, are already using that API. So it would kind of, in my opinion, seem to make sense to just take that API and like officially support it and tie it in. And that way all of those mods still work, rather than, well, here's an official API and all of these mods that are already running with mobs redo, yeah, those don't work unless they wrote the official API to be completely compatible with that, which you could do. But at that point, why even bother? You may as well just adapt that code and add it in. Unless, obviously, it wouldn't work because of licensing. But I'm not sure what license Mobs Redo has. So I don't know if it would have licensing reasons to keep it from being added in or not. However, Minetest game also aims to be very lightweight, and there would probably be a lot of debate over whether or not adding in the mob API would be considered lightweight enough, and so that in and of itself may be enough to bar it from ever being added. I mean, you never know. Anything can happen. I mean, as long as it doesn't break the laws of physics and stuff. But you never know. Things could change. Things could happen. There might be some super rich philanthropists. Is that how it's pronounced? I think that's the kind of person that might just eventually be like, oh, you know what? I got a couple $1 million. I'm just gonna throw it at some developers and have them develop code for free. They wouldn't be developing code for free. They'd be getting paid to develop this code for the super mega rich philanthropist, and he would just be releasing all the code they're developing for free. But realistically speaking, probably not gonna happen. I mean, there's always that chance, never say never, which is a stupid quote because it says never in it, even though the quote's telling you not to say never. But that's besides the point. I mean, it could happen. I don't think it will, but it could. Don't get your hopes up, in other words. Unless you're a super rich philanthropist yourself. In which case, by all means, please do give Paramat and SoFar, and I don't know who else developers are. Whoever else the other ones are, just throw them some bucks. Throw them some monies. As far as I'm seeing, sooner than later, but there's no exact set date. It sounds like originally they wanted to release it for Christmas, but it wasn't ready for that. But looking at things, it's looking pretty close. I'm thinking, and don't quote me on this, I should set up a little illegal gambling thing for it. I'm guessing by the end of January it'll be released. That's my guess. I'm taking bets now. Maybe I'll make some money. I won't, because nobody's going to waste money betting on something that has horrible odds. Actually, I don't even know how you calculate the odds for something like that. But that's my guess. Sometime in January, probably. Seems like they're getting pretty... I mean, unless something big comes up that, nobody realized was there. Some major game-breaking bugs discovered or something. But that's my guess, in January. We'll see. Once it does release, I have to go through all of my mods and make sure they're all still compatible, because I know there are some breaking changes. But I don't know offhand what they are. And I mean, I could technically go through my mods now and work on getting them all ready to run, because I could just use the dev version. But, I'll just wait till it releases and then I'll do a live stream. And we'll just title it something like, what would a good title be? Updating old mods to run on Minetest 5.0. Or whatever the exact version string is going to end up being. Sounds like a good stream name to me. And I'll just go through the old mods. See what errors they throw. See what I'm supposed to do to fix the errors. Kill two birds with one stone, so to speak. Fix the errors and make content. It doesn't get better than that. I'm sure this is also super enjoyable content to watch me throwing water in here from down here. Ooh, hey, I might finally get that source. Oh, no, come back this way. Where all the flowing nodes are, you silly source node. Now I can't pick up water either, because there's source nodes on top of... Oh, here we go. Theoretically, that'll repopulate itself at some point, because those are springs, and they fill up flowing waters with source waters. And I almost goofed, but I didn't. In other Minetest-related news... I don't know if I should really say it's Minetest-related news. I recently compiled Minetest on a Raspberry Pi. Ooh, big deal. Yay. Nobody cares. Unless you have a Raspberry Pi and you want to run a server on it. In which case, you might be interested if you haven't compiled it yourself. So here's the thing. Basically, I was hanging out on IRC, as I oft do, And normally I just read what people say, and I don't actually pay any attention to anything going on, and I just keep my mouth shut. But there was this guy, I forget what his name was, Doyle. I think it was Doyle, right? I don't know. Anyway, he was having some trouble compiling Minetest on his Raspberry Pi, and he was getting some errors, and I was like, well, I don't know, man. I've compiled Minetest on my computer, but it's a little bit different. But I had a spare Raspberry Pi sitting around because, I'm a single guy, so I can spend money on whatever I want without answering to anybody. So occasionally I do that. I'm going to use it eventually. I just haven't migrated over to the new one. It's what is it? New Raspberry Pi 3B Plus, I think is what it is. And so I got it for a media center. I just haven't swapped out my old Pi for the new one, which, as far as I'm aware, would literally just be unplugging the micro SD card from the one that it's in the living room and plugging it into this one, and that would be the whole process, most likely. But anyway, I was like, well, I got this sitting around. Let's try it out. So I tried it out, and I documented it. I didn't really document it, but I have a blog post. If anybody's interested, let me find it, and I'll just throw it in the chats. Yeah, right here. And we'll just chuck that in here if you're interested. I couldn't get any of the graphic stuff to work, so it runs without a interface. It's just the server only. And I guess from what I read, because the guy I built it for, he made a forum post about it. From what I read in that forum topic from somebody else, or no, wait, somebody left a comment on my website, which was really, really kind of weird, because I never get any real comments on my website. They're always spam bots. But somebody left a comment asking about if it was compiled with Legit or Git. I don't know how it's pronounced, but it's not. And said something about the backend databases too, which I just went with whatever default was for because I wasn't really too worried about it. Just wanted it to work. But yeah, so basically I forget what I was saying. Oh yeah, so I built the dev version and the stable, so 04 17.1, it's the bug fix release, as run in place servers for Raspberry Pi. So basically all you have to do is download the archive file from our website, or if you want, you can build it yourself, in which case I don't know why you would care about anything I'm saying. And then you just extract it someplace to your Pi, wherever you want, and it doesn't really matter. It's run in place, so it'll go from wherever. And then you just launch it with, well, because it's there's no interface to it, you have to run it through the command line. I guess maybe you could actually run it without running it through the command line, but you wouldn't know that it's running, and you wouldn't be able to see anything it's outputting live. You'd have to just refresh the debug, but you just launch it through the terminal, and then you can connect to it with another computer on your network. Or you could technically make it a public server as well. That's what the guy I did, and I hopped on it for a while. I don't think he was actually making it a public server. I shouldn't say that. He wanted it for his son, so his son could play on a server and he wouldn't have to leave his computer on all the time for the server. It's possible that the computer his son's using isn't really powerful enough to run the server and the client, because like when you play Minetest local game, you're actually hosting the server and running the client that's rendering all of the stuff from the server. That's just how it works. So if you can offload the server end of the game processing onto another machine, theoretically you can get better performance off the client, because it's not handling all of the server stuff now. But he made it so it was, I don't want to say it was publicly accessible. It was accessible from the outside internet, and then he gave me the IP and the the port, so I could connect to it, and it seemed to run just fine. So, I don't know what kind of mods he had on there, and what kind of anything and it was just me and him, and we didn't even do anything. We just kind of stood there and made sure it worked, which it did. But yeah, it's available if you want it. 0417 or the 417, you have to use 0417 stable to connect to. You can't connect to it with the dev version. And the 5.0 one, you can't connect with 0417. You have to use a dev build of Minetest to connect to that server. But that should be pretty much it to it. Yikes. It's pretty good as far as that goes. I might try to update these things somewhat. Like the stable one, I don't think I'll touch, but I might release new versions of the dev one for a while at least. I don't want to like make any long-term promises because the goal is to use that Pi for my media server, and compiling Minetest on there took like, I want to say probably 10 to 15 minutes to compile, because it's a low-end device. It's not a super high-powered processor on there. Your Raspberry's Debian 8, will it compile? It might. I'm not sure. We were using Raspbian, which is based on Debian, I believe, so it probably will. There was one gotcha, which I do mention in the post, the blog post on my website, with, oh wait, did I? No, I didn't. Oh yeah, I just kind of ignored the whole thing. Oh, well actually, yeah. There's a few issues if you're trying to compile it with the client. I kept having problems with, I forget if it was Xorg and some libpng thing, but if you're only trying to do it as the server, you don't need that stuff anyways. So you can just ignore that because the server doesn't need any graphics. It's all command line stuff. So there's a pretty good chance it would compile. Or if you don't want to try to compile it, or if you do want to try to compile it and you find out that the compiling doesn't work, you can always try the builds I have. They might work. I would think, as long as it's a Pi. I mean, I guess the older versions might have a different processor, but the processor is probably based on the same. I'm talking about stuff I don't know about. It's probably the same architecture for an older one to a newer one. It's probably just faster clock speeds on the newer and maybe more RAM and stuff. So there's a pretty good chance that the ones I have will run on pretty much any Linux-based Raspberry Pi. I don't know if you can run anything else on a Raspberry Pi. I think you can run, I want to say there's like a Windows version you can run on a Raspberry Pi, which I don't even know how that could possibly work. It's got to be a super stripped down. I don't know why you would even want to try it, but I think there is some kind of Windows thing you can run on a Pi too. But yeah, just for a server, I would think any Linux-based thing would work, because they're all going to have the, I want to say there's an ARM processor in the Pi, I think. So it should. I can't see any reason why it wouldn't. One thing to note, and I kind of had issues with this the first time I tried. My Pi came with this a case, neat little case. You know, it makes it look all super pretty and stuff. I overheated it the first time I tried building, and it froze as what's the word I'm looking for here? As much of an oxymoron as it is, because it was overheating, but the whole system just halted. It was too warm, so I had to open the case up so it could get more airflow in there, and then it worked just fine the second time around. Actually, the first time I tried doing it, I had the Raspberry Pi plugged into one of my computer monitors because, well, it was intended to be used for another media server, but I never set it up. But it wasn't hooked up to the Wi-Fi, because for the media server it's going to be plugged into Ethernet. I didn't have another Ethernet jack in my bedroom, so I had to run it over Wi-Fi, which means I had to have a monitor and a keyboard and a mouse hooked up to it so I could connect to the Wi-Fi. So once I did all that, I was like, oh, I'll just do it all here. So it was running all of the graphics, and it was driving a 2560 by 1440 resolution display. I mean, it was only running it at 1920 by 1080, but I think it was a little too much for it, and it just couldn't handle it. So in the second time around, I SSH'd in, and then I had the case open too, so it could get some more airflow, and it still took a long time, but it didn't overheat. And then when it was running, and I was like flying around and having map gen trigger and stuff, it's running about 30% CPU, so it should handle itself pretty well. But I didn't do like tons of testing, so I don't know. Favorite Minetest texture pack? I actually don't use any. I just stick with the default texture pack. I've never really played around. That actually reminds me, somebody wanted me to do a texture pack review on I don't know what it was on. I thought I copied it down though. Summerfields maybe. I don't know. The reason I don't use texture packs too much is because this happens. Wow, that's kind of crazy there. I don't even know if I'm gonna have an example of what this is. I need to find these little spring nodes here, because I think he's just using the crack overlay. Oh, get out of here, you silly. Hey. Oh, there we go. That's weird. There's supposed to be a crack any length overlay on that. I don't see it. That could just be because of the texture of it. But yeah, the big reason why I don't use texture packs is because they don't support everything. So, you know, you might have something like, and I'm not going to have anything. Well, Cave Realms is a, wait, I don't have Cave Realms on in this mod. What am I saying? But like, if you have any, let me just add something in real quick. Sure, let's do that and that. And I actually wanted to do this. Let's hope there's no dependencies that I'm forgetting. All right, so it looks like we loaded up all right. Let's see what we have in here that's gonna mesh horribly now, because does not have a custom texture that matches this. Okay, so I have a bottle of apple juice here. And we have an empty glass bottle. So now I need a, let's take a heavy steel bottle of cactus juice, and let's get a, I don't know what it's called. Oh, okay, yeah. Well, that's another issue. Here we go. No, not a press. What's the thing that the juice press stores? Is it a silo? Oh, barrel. That's what it's called. Duh. So just to show a few little things here, which is why I don't really swap around texture packs. So we got this barrel here, which, okay, sure, that barrel, that looks fine with this texture pack. It's kind of a higher resolution anyway. It doesn't really fit in with default. But then we take a heavy steel bottle of cactus juice, and we add that liquid in. Wait, a heavy steel bottle only holds 2 cups? Wow, that's kind of a ripoff, but okay. And then we take a glass bottle here and we take it. And it totally changes shape. That's not right. A heavy steel bottle holds the same amount as a glass bottle? Interesting. And then another issue, and this is kind of hard to see, but I don't know what resolution texture pack this is. It must be a 32. There's kind of like this little red purplish spot here. And that's because the buckets, yeah, all the juice bottle buckets are just done with an overlay. So there's an overlay that's tinted a color to fill the bucket up with juice. Well, because this bucket is a totally different design, that overlay doesn't work, and now it's broken. And I'd have to make custom textures to match this or something. So that's the big reason why I don't use texture packs, because you get things like this where most of the time when people are making mods, they're kind of keeping like your default textures in mind for how things look. And then you get just these weird things where I'd have to go through and add to this texture pack to make only bottles of apple juice, or of all the juices. I wonder if there's a cup in here too. Yeah, and like this drinking glass looks nothing like the drinking glasses that are filled with juice. So it just screws things up. Edward the Gamer. This is how you use texture packs. It's really quite simple. So the downloading portion, I can't really demo because you can't see a web browser at all, but you download it and it goes into let's see where this is. If you're on Linux, it goes into home.minetest, and then in a directory inside of there called textures. If you're downloading mods, it's going to be the exact same place where your mods folder is. There should be another folder called textures. If there's not, you just have to create a folder that says textures, and then you just extract your texture file there, or if you're cloning from GitHub, you just clone into that location. Then you will have your textures. And then in Minetest, you just go to the Texture Packs tab, and it should list all of the textures you have in that texture folder on your computer. Oh, this was from when I was on Richard Jeffrey server. That's what that one's from. I have no idea who this is, but sure, let's see what that one looks like. And then it'll just have your textures right there. All right. So it looks like my buckets actually work pretty well. There's a little black shadow on the lip there because it's not quite the exact same. Let's see. Oh, that's that stuff. The bottles of juice actually all work perfect. All right, so that's not too bad. This texture pack actually looks... It looks pretty similar to what Inside the Box has, doesn't it? I feel like it does. Oh, maybe no. Their ladders are totally different. Some of the things look kind of similar. But yeah, so that's why I don't really use texture packs too much. And also, some servers, and I don't know how this is done, but some servers, they use their own texture pack, and you can't, or maybe you can override it. Let's find out. So we got a custom texture pack here, Pixel Perfection. What happens if we join Inside the Box with a different texture pack? Is it still going to use their own predefined? It probably will, because it's so custom that even the node names are all completely different. Like this is just called Nodes Marble Block. And like the water here, let's see what this water is called. Oh, you can't point to water, so never mind. I can't tell you what the water is called. Looks like everything down here is still using its normal textures, but let's get close so we can get some names on some of these nodes. So we have nodes stone, we have nodes sand, nodes grass. So yeah, everything on here is so custom with the names that a texture pack's not even going to have any of these texture names on them. And then I don't know if there's a way to force people that connect to the server to use the server provided texture pack. But like when I go on, yeah, let's connect to this one real quick. So I'm still using that Pixel Perfection texture pack. Let's see what happens. And I forget where I'm at on the server. I think I'm near spawn. So there should be lots of things around, buildings, houses. I guess those two are kind of the same, honestly. But there should be lots of stuff here if this will ever load. Oh, I forgot. No? Well, I don't know. I don't know where it stores the cache. But I probably lost the cache, so it has to re-download everything instead of just being like, oh yeah, we've connected to this server. Yeah, everything's still the same. Let's go. And there's a lot of stuff to download here. So this might take a little bit. But I'm fairly certain that this is going to still use the server texture pack and not my own. Which is very understandable because otherwise it's actually super easy to cheat. You can like make certain textures super bright. Like you can make gold, just a solid white square so you don't miss it, or diamonds, or you can do the make your textures that they're just alphas so you can see through them. A lot of kind of hacky, cheaty stuff, and it's understandable why server owners wouldn't want people to do that. Okay, so this is using that custom texture pack because this pyramid's supposed to be yellow. Let me turn off chat real quick so I don't record anybody's conversations without their knowledge or permission. Yeah, and that's using the custom texture pack. I don't know if these plants are the custom texture pack. So yeah, some stuff seems to be... Everything that's not using that texture pack is items that aren't in it, obviously. So like, these blocks are probably not... Well, that is a default, so I don't know why that one wouldn't be. But like this rubber tree, that's from Technic. Oh, never mind, that's from More Trees. And it looks identical to the normal texture on it. So that's probably not in that mod, or that texture pack. This willow trunk looks like it might be changed, but this all looks identical to normal. Ooh, there's some ores down over here. It doesn't matter, I can't mine them because this is in a protected area, but... Oof. Let's see. Default stone with mineral. Oh, and this is sand, okay. So that's why it looked a little different. But yeah, texture packs are just one of those things where you gotta have a texture pack that supports every single mod you're using, or things just look out of place and wonky, and I don't like things looking out of place and wonky, so I usually just ignore them. Just don't use them. However, I shouldn't say I am working on my own texture pack, but for my sub game, I am making all my own textures for it. So, it's not technically a texture pack, but it's all the textures, and everything will mesh and work well together because it's all going to be designed to be that way. But yeah, that's a very long way, very long, long drawn out way of explaining why I don't really use texture packs and why I don't have a favorite. Because if you use anything other than default, stuff just gets messed up and it looks bad, and I don't like doing that. What kind of mod would you like to see this year in Minetest? Personally, I'd like to see some sort of more swords mod, reasoning behind it. Love to see an expansion in terms of weaponry. The one I am watching right now, right here, I haven't seen, I don't know if there's anything that actually works yet. It's just an API at the time, but it sounds pretty neat. Hopefully it ends up working out. It's called the Gunslinger. Yeah, just called Gunslinger. And it is only going to work 5.0 dev. So I don't think we're really going to see anything for it probably until closer to the release for that. But this looks pretty neat. You got manual fire, burst, automatic, semi-automatic, splash, which would be like a shotgun or, a cannon that shoots a bunch of pellets out. And then scopes and sights and all this stuff. Because right now, there are several gun mods out there. But in my experience, they don't really work super well. I actually just tried doing a mod review of one. I forget what it was called. And it was too broken. It didn't work. And I was like, I can't do a mod review on this. It was actually an old request I had that somebody had sent in. I was like, I was going through the list of all the old requests. I wonder if it's still in here. No. I was going through the old requests trying to get some of them cleared out. I was like, I can't do a mod review unless it doesn't work. Like there's a, what's it called? It throws a grappling hook, so a grappling gun maybe. I don't know. It didn't work at all. And there was like a turret gun that you could place and you could sit on and move around. But for the life of me, I couldn't figure out how to make it shoot. And there was no documentation on how it worked. So that would be neat. The expansion of weaponry would be nice, but I think with that, there kind of needs to be like a whole, for it to really work well, is like a major overhaul of a whole combat system. Like, because right now, I mean, you click and you shoot, or you hit somebody with a sword, whatever. It'd be neat if there was some kind of a way to, like, I don't know, maybe make it a little more skill involved rather than just clicking as fast as you can, or clicking and knowing how long to wait before you click again to deal maximum damage. If there was just more of a combat system where maybe you could like block. I mean, it probably wouldn't happen because it's really way too it's way too specific, and it probably wouldn't get added. It might be shooter. Let's see. But that would be neat. I don't think it'll ever happen. Yeah, I think this is the one. Wait, why did that not? There we go. Yep, this is the one. So you have a grappling gun and a grappling hook. And for everything else, you just put your ammo next to the gun and shoot it. That does nothing. You can... Wait. That was weird. Okay, so I threw the grappling hook and it teleported me to where it landed. Alright, that makes enough sense. So what's the grappling gun do? Oh. Helps if I'm selecting the Gatling gun. Okay, sneak click, sneak left click, sneak right click, nothing. Normal right click, left click, nothing. Let's put it to the other side of the hook. Nothing. Sneak in those. Nope. And yeah, then the other one, there's this turret right here that you can place, and you can go ahead and sit on. Wait, what? Thought you could sit on it. I could have sworn I sat on this. Oh, no, you have to... Oh, maybe that's why it never worked. If you right-click on the top, you'll mount it. The bottom holds inventory? All right, what kind of inventory should we put in there? Whoa, cops. Somebody's getting thrown in the clink. Ammo packs? Grenades? Oh, I think the grenades had a problem, too. Rockets? I only get one rocket. Oh, wait, yeah, because rockets shoot, I think. I can't shift-click things in. Oh, can I just put, like, anything in there? Okay. Look, that's cool, that's cool. Sure those items will all shoot. Oh, okay. Or maybe it's supposed to automatically shoot at things? I don't know. I couldn't get it to anything. I think I threw an ammo... Oh, I did. Let me throw the flares in there, too. I think that's all the ammo styles there are. That wasn't what I wanted to do. Oh, yeah, and it turns, too. But, again, I couldn't get it to shoot or do anything. So, and there's, like, no readme, no documentation on how to use it. So I was like, well, I'm not going to do a mod review if I can't for how this thing works, because I'm just going to look like an idiot. But yeah, everything else, like the, if we grab this rifle, I think we need an ammo pack for it. The rifle works. And I can, oh, I didn't know I could break my tombstones. That's kind of cool. I mean, it's extremely disrespectful to the dead people that are in the cemetery, but Yeah, it turns out you can break tombstones with this. Let's see if we can break the fence. Well, I wonder if it's maybe oddly breakable by hand items. Because the tombstones are oddly breakable by hand. And dirt is. And sand is. Okay, that's making sense. Okay, that doesn't make sense. Oh, that's not oddly breakable by hand. Okay, so this probably only works for oddly breakable by hand, but it doesn't do anything to mobs. Which is another reason why I didn't review it. I was like, wait, so the mobs will just kill you because they don't take any damage from these guns. That's swell. So yeah, it had problems. Also, I don't know how many rounds you get in one of these, but I did all that shooting and I used up one ammo pack. Admittedly, it does look like it can be anywhere in your inventory and it works, which is neat. And the grappling hook takes damage when you use it, but the grappling gun, it just exists. I want to see how to craft that. No, I want to see how to craft it. Oh, wrong button. Oh, so it takes 2 steel and a diamond. But you never actually use this, as far as I could tell. The hand grenades, I think, had some error too, but I think that's just because it's an old mod. Oh, I guess not. I thought there was something that didn't work with those. Thought there was like some nodes that wouldn't break. Some desert cobble or something. I don't know. Whatever the case. I could also just use a good texture overhaul. And on that, Minetest could use a good way for... Let's actually pull that back up. For defining custom, like, animations. Because right now, when you shoot a gun, you don't take the gun and punch it. You don't go, oof, oof. You know, nobody does that when you shoot a gun. You have a recoil that pushes the gun back into you. So, it'd be neat if we had an option to do that too. And actually, that would just in and of itself would be neat if you could do multiple different animations. Because then you could do like a sword fighting thing and just have a couple variations to how the sword swings. And it would make it look a lot cooler, in my opinion. And I know there's been talk and chats and stuff about doing that, but I don't know if anything ever came of it. Triplet times 3? Late to the party as usual? Yeah, I actually went a little earlier than normal. I started at 1 p.m. local time. And normally I start at like 2 or 3 to avoid the lunch hour for more time zones. But I actually wanted to do stuff after this. So I started it a little earlier than I normally would, so I have more time afterward to do other things. Like trying to get computer stuff working. And maybe uploading some more videos. Oh, that's one thing I wanted to mention. Now that it's super late into this anyways, let me see. This shouldn't take too long. I want to see how many inside the box videos I have. Because I was thinking. Here we go. I don't need a... What? Great. That's not good. Why do I need to know a password? I've never needed a password before. Unable to mount file. What did I do wrong? Oh boy. Oh. No, that's... Great. Anyway, because it looks like I can't get access to my file server because I... Oh, never mind. I got it. I just had the wrong password. Servers inside the box. You're not going to just tell me how many files are in here? Come on. 23 files. So we divide that by 2 because there's a thumbnail and a video. And then there's also some graphics and intros and outros. And there's 2 different outro videos. So that really doesn't tell us anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 inside the box videos already that are edited and uploaded. And then I have, looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 more to edit. Oh, 5. Well, that one I didn't finish. So that I might just do as a fail video. But so like 5, and there was 8 there, so that's 13. Say 4 weeks to a month. So that's like 3 months out. 3 months into the year. Already recorded. And I realized when I was doing like the third to the last one that I've gotten recorded, that's one that took me an hour to do, and I was quite frustrated. I was like, you know what? I should be filming all of these with my webcam so you can see my reaction. Even though I'm pretty sure the audio doesn't sync to the webcam video perfectly. There's a slight delay, which has bugged me for forever, which is why I don't use the webcam for more stuff. Because if you actually pay close attention, it's off by a little bit, and it bugs me to no end. And I've tried fixing it, and I can't. I don't know what the problem is, but it doesn't go away. Or maybe I haven't actually looked at it lately, so maybe it doesn't exist anymore. I don't know. But anyways, I was thinking I should really use my webcam and have, my face in some corner of the video when I'm playing the game so you can see what my reaction is. It'd add a little more life into the series, I guess we could say. I would have to get a little green screen to throw up here, I think, because I feel like having a green screen would probably work a little better than having my wall and my closet door and my bed, which I specifically made just for the stream so nobody would see that my bed was unmade, which it now isn't because I made it. And my squeaky chair. Well, I didn't think it was that squeaky. But yeah, so that was an idea I had. So what do you think? Maybe I should ask that once some of the videos have released and people can see them, because some of them are real short. There's one that's only like 4 minutes long, but other ones are long, and I don't know. It's something to play around with. Like, I know I need to do a face reveal. That's what it is. I need to start building hype. Like, once I get 1,000 subs, I should just start putting that in all the video descriptions. Once I hit 1,000 subs, I'll do a face reveal. Like all the big YouTubers, the gaming YouTubers, I should say. Because most people on YouTube, they're talking to a camera. But, should do a face reveal thing. Because that would definitely pull in the subscribers. Right? Because I got like 372. Can I see that? 372, yeah. So I could definitely try to rope in a couple subscribers by promising a face reveal when I hit 1,000 subs, because nobody's seen my face yet. Like, nobody knows what I look like. Nobody realizes that what you're looking at here, this is actually 100% CGI. That's not actually me. That's completely fake. It's all fake. You just think that's what I look like, but I don't. I'm actually a attack helicopter. But anyway, I need some feedback on that. But like I said, it's probably something that once I have some out, I should ask about. People can be like, yeah, it's kind of boring, or no, I like it this way. But we'll see. It is a lot. I went probably a little overboard, but I started these, I think, around Thanksgiving, because I knew for the new year I wanted to start some new series up and stuff, and I should just have something running in the background here. I'll just pull this one back up. I knew I wanted to start a new series, so several new series actually, and I was wrapping up one because that's all I had. Because in the past I used to have, I think, 5 videos a week, but I was like, well, I want to start up some new series, and I want to have a nice bank of videos going. So if I miss, if something happens one week and I can't record 5 videos on that weekend, I have some spare videos. So I had Thanksgiving Day off, then that Friday off, then the Saturday and Sunday afterwards. So I had a 4-day weekend there. Christmas was on a Friday, was it? So we had a 4-day weekend there. Then New Year's Eve I had off, and that was a Monday. New Year's Day was Tuesday, so another 4-day weekend there. So I had a lot of off time. So I was just like a couple of those days, again, because I'm single and I don't have anybody to tell me what to do or how to spend my money or how to do, whatever. I literally sat in front of my computer for like 6 hours straight. Well, I mean, not 100% straight because I, got something to drink and some snacks and use the restroom and whatever. But yeah, I like just sat down and the Skylanders series, I actually recorded, I think the first 6 episodes all in one fell swoop. It's like, okay, this is one episode worth. Stop the recording, rename that file, start the next one up. And I was just on a roll. I was like, may as well do this. Just get these things done. Just pump out those episodes. And I did. And then I spent several days editing. A lot of days. Actually, I think they're finally all edited. Inside the box, I still have to edit some. Skyland is all edited. I have 3 or 4 for Luna that I have to edit yet. I also have 0 mod reviews, so I need to record a bunch of those. Actually, once I'm done with the stream, I need to record a mod review or 2 because I don't have any spares right now. What's the use of waterfall stuff? Oh, yeah, let me show. So these little steps here, because this is the dynamic liquids mod. So these are all source nodes, but they'll actually move. So if I punch out these 2 blocks, it's not like a real English major there. As the water flows out, we'll have source nodes that move out, which is hard to tell what source node. Let me actually go ahead and change the texture real quick. Was that Summerfields? I think it was Summerfields. The one makes it really obvious what was flowing. Okay, never mind. I didn't make it very obvious what's flowing and what's not. That maybe made it worse. Let's try this one here. But the source nodes, okay, that didn't help things at all. Well, whatever. The source nodes will move. They'll find open spaces adjacent to them or spaces that have flowing water in them, and they will move into those spaces. And so what happens here is the source node moves over, then it spills out to both sides because there's nothing there. And it has an option of traveling to either of these sides. Well, if it does, then it could travel out here. And as we see here, it makes a giant mess. And I'm hitting the wrong keys. I want to go backwards. It makes a giant mess. And even if we were to place some there, and do I have some more dirt? Yeah, I have some more dirt. Okay. So, because normally this would work. Your flowing waters and your source nodes and everything. As long as there's something on the side of the flowing, or the source node. Like, I could put a source node here, and it would be fine. But because the source nodes move, well, the source node can move out, and then it could move over if the source node is down there. So to keep that from being, because even that can happen sometimes, keep that from being a problem. Whoops. Oh no, I'm just wrecking everything here. All you gotta do, and again, this is only with a dynamic liquid mod. If you just put a wall here, the highest point a source node can be is at this elevation where there are walls all the way along. So the source nodes will fall down on top of either empty nodes or flowing nodes and replace them. And then it can flow out through here. And then the same thing happens here because we're going down one height, one node, whatever you want to call it, one step of elevation. We drop this, the source nodes can get from the underside and flow out, but they won't come from here because then they'll just make a giant mess. It actually makes water transport a lot of fun because if you're not careful, you get a giant mess like this. And this is probably only, I don't know, 3, 4, maybe 5 source nodes there. Like, this looks like it's pretty much been refilled up with source nodes. And there's 4 springs over here to fill flowing nodes with source nodes. So you just get this big mess, and eventually it'll clear itself up. If we let this sit for long enough, those source nodes will they'll move around up in here, and at some point they'll fall down to this point, at which they can't go back up. They can only go lower. So they'll fall down to the next level and to the next level. And eventually, if I were to sit here and let this just run for long enough, the water would all be down in this central pool here, unless there were more source nodes than there are than spaces here, I guess. So whatever the volume of this lowest ring here is, if there was more source nodes than that, you would have 1 or 2 or how many ever, 30 or 40, whatever the number is, that would be sitting on the top of this and kind of just moving around in this next tier of land. So it makes water really fun, because you can't do what's that called, where you do the L or the just a straight line with the 2 sources in the middle, and you can just keep taking the middle out. The infinite water. It does away with that concept. So if you have like a spring, which there are spring nodes, someplace up in the mountains or wherever, you have to build a whole chain system to transport that water down to wherever you want to have another pond of water. And what I have here actually is very inefficient, because it's only 1 node wide, and for it to really work well, you'd want it to be 2 nodes wide or more, so the water can actually move around in here easily. Because right now, if I had let's just do this actually. If I have a flowing node in here, I don't know where that went. I can't tell. But it would have to work its way. Oh, actually, there's no way that happened. It would have to work its way back up into this area here and end up on top of one of these 4 corners to be replaced with a water source, which I'm not sure why that hasn't happened here, because this is a spring, and springs are supposed to replace flowing water on top of them with source water. It does not appear to be working. Interesting. Very interesting. Oh, see, now had we just been watching, the water has worked its way down, and now it's into this ring here. And eventually, and there are some springs in here too, I think. There's one there. There's one here. Some weird laser-like glitches going on. Oh, that might just be I don't know what that is. Something just from all the water updates, I guess. See those little flickers, like right over here? I don't know. I don't know what it is. But, yep. It'll eventually all work its way down into here if I let it run long enough. And if these springs don't put out more nodes, more sources. But yeah, that's what those are used for. Completely unnecessary if you're not using dynamic liquid. But I don't remember if I used those in the mod review or not. But afterwards I was like, I really like this mod. I want to play with this. Like, not for the mod review. I just want to fool around with this mod and see how it works and explore and see what I can do. And so I kind of have this world now. I built this little it's like a well, pretty much. And we've got 2 springs in here, a higher one and a lower one. And those theoretically will replace a flowing node with a source node. And then this is actually open, all 3 on the bottom. And then this one here to make it look like it's an opening. And that's actually a slab, so it's only half open. And that's just so the water can flow out into here, so you can take water from here, and eventually this water should work its way back inside and get replaced with another source node. And then similar to over here, but this is water flowing out, and theoretically at some point this whole thing would become source nodes. But it goes kind of slow, and you can change that if you want. You can make it run faster. It's a trade-off, you know. You're gonna have more overhead if you have it updating more frequently, and if you're on a server or something, you're gonna introduce more lag. On single player, I could probably crank this thing up pretty high without any noticeable problems. Let's actually, because I can't really damage anything because it'll just be replaced at 4 a.m. tomorrow morning anyways. dynamic liquid. All right. Let's try. Let's look at the settings file. Maybe this says something. Causes river water to move dynamically. Yeah, you really don't want to do that because of rivers and how they just look. Yes. Okay. 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 Flow rates. Dynamic liquid water flow probability. Water flow probability. So it's probability of water flow blocks per second. That is, if it is set to 5, and there's a 1/5 chance per second that a water block will check if it should move. Increase this value to make the water flow slower. This value only has an effect if the dynamic water is set to true. Well, I have 1 and 100. So let's put that down to 10 because I think that last number is something. Have I seen the portal mod? I am not sure. I will take a look shortly. I just want to, if I can find this, where's my option that I'm supposed to be changing? Water flow probability. Okay. This value has a dynamic water. Oh, well, of course dynamic water is set to true. Why would you be using the mod dynamic water if you didn't have it set to true? Does that look any faster? Does that look any different at all? Whatsoever? I don't really notice anything looking different. Oh, you know what? That might have been commented out. Nope. Checks probability of water flow per blocks per second. Increase the value to make water flow slower. Well, what if I want the water flow faster? I changed 100 to 1. Are we noticing any difference? Yeah, it doesn't really look like it. Okay, let's go check out portal mod. Portal? I have portal gun, but I'm assuming that's not the portal mod you mean. I'm assuming you mean a portal to like teleport between locations, or are we talking the portal gun mod? I actually did a mod review on the portal gun mod. That's pretty fun. You'd have to build everything to really use it. Use it well, because without having something to be shooting the portals through, around, and from, whatever, it's kind of like, oh yeah, it's neat, but it really has no purpose. You have to build all of your portal mazes, which you could. I'm not sure the legality, because Portal obviously is owned by Steam, right? Or Valve? I don't know who the parent company is. Is Valve the parent company or Steam? Whatever the case, somebody owns that. So theoretically, if you were to make a Minetest Portal server using that, there's a slim chance, especially if you live in the USA, that they could come after you and like sue you for everything you own because you're not paying them to use their intellectual property, because that's how copyright laws work in the USA. Of course, I'm not a lawyer. Nothing I say should be construed as legal advice. Please consult an actual lawyer and pay him lots of money for real legal advice, because yes, I'm not a lawyer. I'm pretty sure it's actually even illegal to give legal advice if you're not a lawyer. But yes, so there's my disclaimer. Seek out true legal advice if you have questions and you actually want to know the answers. That being said, though, I think, and again, I'm not a lawyer, but as long as nobody on the server ever told, it's one of those things like where, people will say, well, it's not illegal unless you get caught. Like, well, it's still illegal. Again, I'm not a lawyer, but just because you don't get caught doesn't mean that it's legal now. So I'm just putting that out there, just putting that out there. But again, I'm not a lawyer, so don't take anything I say as legal advice. And don't come crying to me if they come and try to sue you because you're You're using their intellectual property without their permission. All that said, though, I have played both of the Portal games, and I did very much so enjoy them. So, Valve, if you want to, give me some money for plugging your games, info in the video description where you can send that money. Okay, thanks. Right, like somebody from Valve's actually watching this. Ha! That would never happen. So, and yeah, was that the yes? Portal gun was used to make portals. Schrodinger's cat springs to mind. Isn't that the thing where you got the switch where you flip? Is it? You flip the switch and then that makes the other thing come and flip the switch the other way? I don't know if that's Schrodinger's cat or not. That name is very familiar to me for some reason. It's got to be some whatchamacallit. Extremely familiar to me. But I can't place. Is that the thing? Yeah, I think that's the thing. Mm-hmm. I need to put a disclaimer in the video description. Can I do that here? No, I can't. Okay, well then I won't even bother. So I'm gonna just put a huge disclaimer. I'm not a lawyer. Oh, I'll just throw it in the chat instead. That way we have textual proof that I'm not a lawyer. I am not a lawyer. Yeah, that's good enough. Yeah, that's my legal disclaimer. Oh, can I actually make a legal disclaimer if I'm not a lawyer? I don't know. Anybody that ever reads it, I don't know actually how the chat replay works on streams. I know it's there, but can you stream to the future? Can you scroll to the future of chat in a stream? Because if you can't, somebody's gonna go through something like, "What? I'm not okay." So what's that supposed to mean? Because there's absolutely zero context to it in chat. But if they're listening to the audio, obviously, they will know why it's there. That's my disclaimer, though. How long has this been going? 2 hours and a half? That's probably long enough. Because yeah. Actually the real reason, the actual true real reason why I streamed earlier than normal is because, as you can notice, my 100% CG completely artificial face that is right here actually still has light on it. And if I stream later in the day, because it's winter time where I live, the sun sets super early. And like if I start streaming at 2, by like 3 o'clock it's already, maybe 3:30, it's dark enough that I'm just like a face in a black room, and the only light on this 100% not real face that you're seeing right here, which isn't actually my face, is coming from the computer monitors, which doesn't make sense because it's not actually a real face. So I don't just turn up the ambient lighting in the scene that this face is being rendered from. But yeah, that's actually the real reason. So I'd have better lighting for this 100% not real face in the webcam. I'm sure nobody bought that, but that's actually true. All right, well, is there... I could see... I'm sure it's still down. It's still down. That's actually another reason why I recorded 6 episodes on this server in one fell swoop. Because I was on it doing some exploring around before I recorded, and it just crashed. And then in one of the episodes, it crashed. It was near the end. I was like, oh, okay, well, whatever. I guess the video is going to end here because the server's down. And it's been spotty, and I don't know why. I don't know if the actual server is going down. I remember last winter, these servers are up in, who is it? Category 5 TV or something? Category 5 Tech TV, I forget what it is. But they got the server running. And last year it was down during the wintertime because they had electrical failure from some storms. So the servers were down because there wasn't electricity. So I don't know if maybe that has anything to do with it, or if it's just because they're not being maintained as well as they should and there's bugs coming in. Not that bugs actually work like that, but I mean, if the bug wasn't in the code originally, it's not going to, over time, a bug just appear. That's not how code works. But yeah, I don't know what the deal is. All I know is when it's up, you just got to record a bunch of videos on it because you don't know what's going to be up the next time. Kind of makes for a little bit sketch process. I was actually going to do Skyblocks as just a local series, but I kept getting errors and I didn't want to fix them because I didn't know how to fix them or what they were from. So I was like, you know what? I'll just play it on a server and then not deal with any of that, which is exactly what I did. And it worked. Oh, here's a fun thing we could do. Let me boot up my Pi. I think I can do that here. Oh, I'm going to have to SSH back into it, though. I have to remember how to do that thing. Okay, let's, this will take but a moment. If I can remember what its IP was. 192.168.2.142. Local IP, by the way. Okay, that might not be right. I just wanted to prove, because nobody's gonna believe me. Why would nobody believe me? Of course people are gonna believe me. Why would I say it? Oh, hey, I got a notification on my phone that I'm streaming. Well, thanks, YouTube. I'm glad you actually, you sent these notifications out to at least somebody. I didn't really need it because I was the one streaming, but, you know, whatever. That's cool. It's cool. What in the world? What are you doing? I just want to find out what the IP is of my... Meh. Oh, maybe it's not. Maybe it's not up. It should be. One 1682. Oh, maybe just hadn't booted all the way. Oh, whoops. Okay, I got it up. Oh, what's its password? I don't know. Oh, I was right. Okay. Let me see. I just need to remember where I put this. CD to 0.4.17. Then we want to go into the bin file. Then we want to launch Minetest server, automatically selecting a world. All right. So the Pi is up and running. So now we can play online. 192.1. And again, this is a local IP address, as should be fairly blatantly obvious from the fact that it's a 192.168 number. So no, you cannot log on to this unless you've hacked into my home network, in which case, watch your butt. That's all I'm telling you. Watch your butt. Hey, sweet. Look, we're playing on a Raspberry Pi 3B+. Unfortunately, I can't do anything cool because... Oh, it wouldn't be single player anyways. Because I'm not an administrator. I don't have the privileges. Oh, wait. I didn't even tell me that. I have shout and interact. Woohoo. But yeah, we're running on a Pi. I can't give myself fast, so I can't demo how this works fast. But for slow, normal speed, it seems to be pretty good. Now, admittedly, some of this map is generated out this direction already. Man, I wish I had fast, but I don't know how to get that. I'd have to modify a file someplace to grant myself that. You know what? Because we got nothing better to do with our lives anyways, right? Let me just go ahead and kill the server. There we go. And someplace in the world folder. I don't know where the world folder is, though. Let's see. We have mods. We have game. Okay, we have a folder called worlds. Okay. And let's list what's in here. There's a world called world. I wish I knew besides the void. I wish I did, but this is YouTube we're talking about. Nothing's simple there. Yeah, actually, that's weird though, because I think I scheduled the stream. Oh wait, yesterday was Friday. Yeah, I think I scheduled the stream Friday. I meant to do it earlier and I kind of forgot about it. So yeah, that could be. I don't know if they would have notified you about it anyways though. Okay, so I have a player file here, so maybe we can do nano and then the file name. Oh, that does open with nano. Okay, so this tells me my breath, my pitch, my version, my name, my HP, yes, player args end. Oh, this is my inventory. It's a bunch of empty slots. My crafting space is also empty. Craft preview is empty. I don't know what that is. Well, that's disappointing. This doesn't tell anything about privileges. What am I supposed to look under? Pro hackers. If you could let me know. Oh, is it under maybe auth.txt? Yeah, that's an empty file, so probably not. Where are... Oh, wait, no, that's an empty file because it doesn't exist. Force load, environment metadata, IP band, map meta, map, and world. Auth.txt. Oh, that's just like a big long authorization code. Interesting. How do I change somebody's privileges? Where do you do this? Well, I guess we can't do that. I was gonna give myself fast, but if I don't know how, I can't do much. I could give myself some inventory, but I don't know what advantage I would really have in that. Extended attributes, none. Bunch of empty inventory. Empty. Well, where do I give myself privileges? I mean, the worst that can happen is I corrupt my player. Ooh. Is I corrupt my player file and I can't do anything, which, that's fine. I'll just join as a different player, right? I'll just give myself an extended attribute to fly. 95% sure that is not what we want to do, and that'll result in problems. But, hey! What better way to... Well, I would have been better off just going back rather than scrolling through history. Now we want to move into bin. I know this is super exciting because you can't see anything I'm doing in the terminal. Okay, so now we do this Minetest server. Okay, well the world loaded. So we've got that. I'm connected. Do I have fly? No fly privilege. Well, what do you know? I should have known that wouldn't be how that works. I can get the minimap though. Oh yeah, it's the dev where you can't get minimap unless you have the mapping tool. I would try to jump over that, but I know I can't make the jump. And furthermore, because I can't fly, I can't just fly over it. I might be able to make it here though. Phew, I did. So yeah, it runs pretty smooth. Again, this is with just me and absolutely nothing happening on the server. Oh, here we got a jungle coming up. Let's see how this map gens. That's respectable. It's okay. Still only getting 60 frames a second, which pretty much tells me the reason I only get 60 frames a second is well, I don't know. Maybe it's a Minetest limitation because the server's running on a different machine. And I was getting the same frame rate when I was running the server. So, yeah, it's probably not because my computer's not fast enough. Which also means it probably won't get faster when I get a faster computer. Probably. So again, this is on a Raspberry Pi 3 B+. Pick one up today from Amazon using my affiliate link. Oh wait, I don't have any affiliate links because every time I've tried doing that, Amazon kicks me out because nobody buys anything with my link. Yeah, I forgot. I've like signed up for that 3 times. Every single time. I forget how long they let it run without transaction. Maybe 2 years or something. Every time they just send me this email. Yeah, you haven't sold anything through your affiliate links, so yeah, link's no good anymore. If you want to re-sign up, you have to create a new account. Oh, gee, thanks Amazon. I'm glad that you let me know, so I can reset a new one up and then change all those links, which I actually never did because I never really put the links anywhere. They used to have like this widget, and I had the widget on my website of, I forget what it was, like, I don't know, just a carousel of items or something weird. I don't know. I was probably doing it wrong, which is probably why I never generated any revenue from it. Wait a minute, I wasn't stuck in a hole before, was I? Maybe I was. Well, I can dig some dirt from here, and we can place it there, and we can get out. Oh yeah, this is how I got in. The stairs right there. Oh well, whatever. So yeah, MapGen works just fine. I could do the dev build too, but meh. That actually gets a little sketch because the or wait, is it? Maybe that's, oh whatever. I don't know. I'm not gonna try to figure it out. I think the world file is. Oh, I have to exit. Okay, whatever. I think the world file is shared between the dev build and the non-dev build. So I get unknown items when I switch between the two because they have things that don't exist in the other. This is just locally. This isn't running on a Pi. Still getting 60 frames a second. Seeing zero improvement when I had the Pi doing MapGen. Though I will say my CPU utilization is going up to 80 now, and I was staying at a steady 30% when the Pi was doing the server. Of course, I also wasn't flying, so that could have a slight impact as well because the graphics weren't changing quite so rapidly. So let's turn free move off. Okay, CPU's down to 64. 62. 63. 59. 57. Oh, it's dropping, man. It's dropping. 54. It's going to be down to 0 before you know it. 53. Now we could... Oh, it went up to 57. We could do some... Oh, up to 61. Oof. This is insane, man. We're going to be maxed out before you know it. Oh, now we're back down to 60. So yeah, there actually is a marked improvement when you run the server on its own dedicated machine. Interesting. I wouldn't have thought it would be that big a difference. Now, does this mean I'm going to go set up my own local server so when I do my Minetest mod reviews, running on that? No. It's too much work. Too lazy. The difference doesn't matter that much. My monster here will handle it just fine. Okay. That's... Are we at like 3 hours? 2 3/4? It's long enough. Long enough in my books. So let's see. What good closing... Whoops. What good closing message is there to share? What good tidbit of knowledge is there to pass on? Oh, wow. I'm an idiot. I forgot to say Happy New Year. Belated New Year. Because it's 5 days in. 5 days in. Happy 5-day late New Year. Maybe. I don't think there's anybody who's still only 4 days in. Probably not. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know where I sit at time zone wise. But anyways, happy belated New Year. What is it? Actually, that's so dumb. Chinese New Year. I thought that wasn't in January. But I was seeing these things like it's the year of the pig or something goofy. Whatever. If you're Chinese, celebrate New Year's whenever you celebrate it. Or maybe do they get 2 New Years? Chinese New Year and then normal New Year? I don't know. I'm not Chinese. I don't have any Chinese friends. I'm too racist for that. Actually, it's because I don't know any Chinese people. Because there's no Chinese people around where I live or work. Now where was I going with this? Oh yes, lots of new content to stay tuned for. Did I ever actually get through that list of what was going to be going out? I think I did. So we have Mod Reviews Monday, as I've had for 4 years. Have I been doing that? I don't know. It's a long time. I think so, because I think I got like 200 some out of them. So there's those on Mondays. Aluna, Tech Eth on Tuesdays. Inside the Box on Wednesdays. And then Skylands, I think Fridays. I don't remember. I'll have to pull the calendar back up. I think that's on Fridays. Yes, Skylands on Fridays, which means the only day that doesn't have scheduled content is Thursdays. So, yeah, if there was something I could do on Thursdays, let me know. But you have to let me know, like, by next Tuesday, so I can have it uploaded and ready to go for Thursday. Or I can just leave Thursday as an off day along with the weekend, because, you know, you get to a point where you're making too much content. You know, like those channels that make 7 or 8 videos a day, and you're just like, I don't know how much free time you have, but I don't have enough free time to watch every single one of your videos every day. So I'm just gonna have to stop watching your videos and I'll just unsubscribe from your channel, because you're making too much content. Even if it's good, there's too much. I just can't ingest all this content. So maybe I actually should put one of them out on the weekend. I don't know. I've never done anything on weekends other than stream, so I feel like I shouldn't. Actually, that's a lie. I think I have put a few videos out on weekends. Maybe release videos. I think the that mumble demo video that I recently did, I think that may have gone out on a weekend. But that was just because it was recorded and I wanted to get it out there as soon as possible so I could beat the huge rush of all the YouTubers trying to cash in on that cash cow. And I did. I beat all of them. In fact, I don't know if the guy I recorded with ever even got his edited and uploaded. Because I'm pretty sure he was gonna. But I don't know if he did. If he did, either I'm not subscribed to his channel, or YouTube just didn't let me know he uploaded it, which wouldn't surprise me because we are talking about YouTube here. And on that high note, I'm going to strive really hard in 2019 so I can get into YouTube Rewind. Oh, wait, scratch that. That was the most liked video of all time. So I will strive really hard to not get into YouTube Rewind so as to not tarnish my good name. And still definitely looking for people to live stream with. So if you have any interest at all in being on a live stream, whether you have a YouTube channel and you just want to, you know, promote your own channel, which I have absolutely zero problem with, 100% in favor of promoting people's YouTube channels when they make quality content, or if you have a server that you want, to promote to the masses of people that'll watch this, which, let me look at the stats real quick. I've had 6 concurrent viewers and 50 playbacks. Oh, 7 concurrent viewers. Just went up. And 51 playbacks. So I'm guessing that probably means 51 different people have seen this. So if you want to, you got something you want to promote out to 50-ish people, hit me up, man. Contact info is all on my website, which is linked down in the video description as always. And let me know. Weekends are when I usually stream. Saturday or Sunday, pretty much any time. Even if, like, it's not a time I would normally be awake, I guess I could stream at like 2 a.m. my time. You know, that works. I have no idea where my viewership is really from. I should really look at that and see. You know what? I really should. I should look at my viewership stats, see where in the world people are watching from, and then use that data to figure out the optimal time for a stream, so I could have the most amount of people who wouldn't be sleeping when I'm streaming. Why doesn't YouTube like just auto suggest that? That would be genius. They'd be like, well, we've noticed that from the analytics we've gathered on your live streams, these are the people who watch, and they're in these time zones. But overall, your channel has viewers from these time zones, and we think you would get more views if you streamed at this time. Dude, I just made YouTube $1 million. Good thing they didn't watch this video so they didn't hear my suggestion. Because otherwise they would take it and not give me any credit. I need to look into those stats and find out. And maybe next month's live stream will be at a totally different time that'll be more suitable for more of an audience. We'll find out, but don't count on it and don't cross your fingers, because I can always just lie and say that the analytics pointed towards when I stream currently is the best time for me to be streaming, and you would never know. Would you? I don't think there's any way for you to see where my viewers are from. You can see viewer counts and some other stuff from, like, what is it, Social Blade or something like that, I think it's called. But I don't think it lets you know where people are watching from. I think it just lets you know numbers, but not locations. Well, whatever. I've said I was going to end this like 6 times now, so let's actually end it now. The 7th time, 8th time, I don't even know at this point. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. Thanks for chatting, leaving chat messages, comments. Well, nobody commented yet. Thanks for the likes. I don't know if anybody actually liked this. I don't know if there's any way for me to see that while it's going. Thanks for the subscriptions. Everybody who's watching who subscribed. Thanks a ton. It's super helpful. I was looking at some analytics the other day, and I only have to wait till, like, I forget, it was like 2021, 2022 before supposedly I'm going to hit 1,000 subs. You know, totally I can hang out that long. I definitely won't get married before then and have a family and have a wife who's like, you're spending too much time making stupid video game movies. I'm like, yeah, you're right, babe. Let's cut them back, unless, I find a gamer girl. She's like, oh, I want to do them with you. I'm like, oh, super. That's totally cool. Let's do it. So, thanks for watching. Sorry if I just blew your ears drums out saying so loud. That was kind of unintentional. Tune in next month for another live stream. I'll try to get that one scheduled a little sooner, though I don't know if that really makes that big a difference as far as anything, but we'll try. And until then, keep playing Minetest. I don't know. I'm horrible at outros, really, is what I should just be saying, is I'm horrible at outros. Keep the awesome work. Oh, I shall certainly endeavor to do so. And with that, yeah, I will catch you guys next time. Stop